All right, here we go. So first of all, you're learning the Likutei Torah Samach, but there was a question you asked about the film. The Tefillin now we learn in Sechus Menachos the Tefillin. What's the order of the parshas in the Tefillin? So Rashi says, that they're go through the Shema Vayam Shema, and so like the last two parshas from your right side, Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam switch. So, but the main thing is that Tefillin is how should I say it? It's a receiver. It's a condenser of moichin. Of what? Moichin, of seichel, of moichin, of lakus. That's what the Gemara says. V'rahu amei haaretz, Shem Hashem nikra aleka. As all the nations of the land will see that the name of Hashem is upon you, v'yaru mimeka, and they will fear you. So Rashi is on the question. Gemara. So Rashi says that's a Tefillin Sharosh. Okay. The Baal Tanya was once asked, how come we see people wearing tefillin, they don't scare the guy. So he says, no, the tefillin need to be inside, not just outside. But nevertheless, I mean, when you put it on you, you get a connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu. What we're learning in this particular Torah, that you're getting your face. So it's actually kedai maybe to speak about it. We spoke about it once before, but about Odom Arishon. Kadosh Baruch Hu told him, the day that you will eat from the tree, most times you for sure will surely die. Okay, so with ate, he didn't die that day. So what gives? So one of the common answers to this particular question is that Enechinami. The thing is that he was at that point before the Chet, he was immortal. And the minute he ate, he became mortal. So he was like, as they say, he was a dead man walking, because it was just a question of time. However long that he would live, it was going to end in tears, no matter what. So they say that's the pshat. That the day that you eat is the day that you will be immortal. That you will, and it doesn't tell if he dies that day. But I heard, from Rabbi Akiva Tatz, I heard from him this particular inyan. They said that Adam Rishon had a single horn on his head that came up from the place, that the babies, whatever you call it, that is soft. Yeah, whatever. This way, supposed to put the film. Film's supposed to be between this and the. That's the place of the film. So he had a connection. At film, what do we need? Keren Echad. It's not that he wasn't an ox. He had this connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu, that he lived forever. Meaning, it's not just that he lost it when he ate from Etz Hadas. So you need to understand that what happened was that Adam Rishon, Arizal explains that Adam Rishon, he included all the 600,000 neshamas in existence. He encompassed all of them. And when he ate, from Etzadas, actually he said when he sent his hand to Etzadas, different stages, ultimately he lost all the 600,000 neshamas and just retained his own particular private neshama. And all the rest of the neshamas have to come to the world from the Gilgulim, they have to be born, have to die, and so forth and so on. But there's a deeper aspect to this, that the difference between being immortal and being immortal is not just that being immortal means that the person doesn't die yet, and still doesn't die yet, and still doesn't die yet, and the yet goes on forever. That's not the pshat. The pshat is that it's a different kind of life altogether. Ad kadei kach, that when a person goes, to Beis HaChaim, to the cemetery, and the niftarim are there. What's the difference between a person and the niftarim? That he has, he has Ruach Chaim. He's a living being, and they no longer have, this living. But nevertheless, even after, that they're already there, and the dinim from that particular person are no longer, exercise is already finished, is already resting. There's still something which is called, the Zohar calls kisa de chayusa. It's a spark of life, which is in the Havla de Galmi. It's the life force which remains in the bones. That remains in the bones. The difference between you and a person who is a niftar is a lot smaller than the difference between the life that Adam Rishon had before the Chet and to the life after the Chet. In other words, compared to the life that he had, the immortal life that he had before, the life that he had the minute that he ate from this is much lower, much more distant than a mess it is in a cemetery is for you and me. It's a much bigger difference. So the thing that supplies this life is this Karen, this beam, whatever you want to call it, that was on the top of Adam Rishon's head. It was taken away when he sinned. What we do, we put the tefillin in order to compensate, in order to get, that's why they say the kakafta dolo manach tefillin, somebody who never ever was maniach tefillin, Hashem Yerachem, he never. That's why the Lubavitcher Rebbe was sending all these people, to put on film everywhere, whatever. So at least they'll put one time in their lifetime, they'll put on film, so there won't be a bechina of karkafta de lo manach film, a head that has never put on film. To get them out of that, because it's a difference between life and death, on an eternal basis. So the levels upon levels of life. So that film of Rashi, which the Olam, that's the halacha, are actually lower than the film of Rabbeinu Tam. The moichin of Rabbeinu Tam are higher than, and we met at this particular concept before when we're talking about, Besila and Beshamai. That, that this says La'osid Lava in the future, the halacha is going to be like Beshamai. But right now it's Besila. Why? Because Beshamai is higher. is actually a higher moich in the Basila. But that's why they said that. They said about Chanukah. They said that the difference in the Shitos is that Basila says that you add on. First night there's one candle, then two, then three. What's the halach? And yeah, and Bishama says no. You light 8, and then you light 7, and you light 6. He said so. Rav Nosson explains it in the Kut Halacha. Says what's. I mean, it's a very very famous kasha of the B'si Yosef. There are literally thousands of terutzim on the kasha B'si Yosef. Because it says why do we light 8 candles? There was enough oil for one day. So the miracle was only 7 days. So why do we light 8 candles? There are thousands of terutzim to this kasha. So Rav Nosson also answers this kasha. I mean, they're all emes. So Rav Nosson explains that the spheres. That if when you go up, you have the malchus, then you have the yesod, then you have the hod, then you have the netzach, then you have the tiferes, and then you have the gvura, then you have the chesed. These are the 7 spheres from below. The 8th one above them is the bina. That's the 8th, bnei bina. That's what it says in Chanukah. That's when we saw Maos Sur, right? Bnei bina, the sons of bina. So bina is called pchinas em. It's pchinas mother. Em labina tikra. He says im labina tikra. If you will call the bina, Chazal says don't say im if you will call the bina, but em labina tikra. Bina is a pchina of mother. What does it mean? We perceive a Kadosh Baruch Hu right now in this life in a constricted form, because if a Kadosh Baruch Hu would shine, we'll just cease to exist immediately. I mean, it's like take a candle and you put it next to a big flame. What happens? It jumps into jumps. Yeah, immediately. Just the whole world was this. The whole world exists on. I mean, the only existence there is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So it has to be constricted and confined and step down, until the world can exist with love. Okay, so everything that we experience now is in a constricted level. Okay. Lost level in the future. This is what we're talking about Tikkun Atik in this particular Torah. Because Baruch Hu wants us to perceive Him the way He is, not the way that we can perceive, but the way He is. In other words, unlimited. This is Pchinas Chaim of Adam Rishon. Is unlimited perception. So, but how can you have unlimited see HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way He is? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everything, and still you remain a separate being. I mean, it's Sata the Sata. It's a contradiction in terms. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everything. How can you be, an independent existence? And if you are, then how can? So the answer is that we will be. It's like we will be in a capsule, in a space capsule, as it were, which is called the Bina. The Olam Haba is Olam Habina, where we can gaze upon the glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, full force, without getting extinguished. It's like an astronaut can go where this thing can go out in space, and he's alive, and they can keep on living, whatever it is. There's no edge, no nothing. I have this, but it's a good muscle, that's Olam Haba. Yeah, that's what they say. That Yom Shabbos we were singing in the mirrors. We sing is Me'ein Olam Haba. Me'ein Olam Haba. So because Me'ein Olam Yom Shabbos. So the question is, what is like what? Shabbos is like Olam Haba, or Olam Haba is like Shabbos. Is Me'ein Shabbos? Which way it is? So the answer is that Olam Haba is a mini Shabbos, because Olam Haba is in the Bina. And Shabbos is all the way in the Kesser. Shabbos is a lot higher. We have inside this world, this Keren, this beam that is lighting up Yom Shabbos, the Netzach. You can see that every single day, every single week comes the Shabbos, and there's no connection between Shabbos and the weekdays. It's like this is a different entity, this is a different entity. Comes Shabbos, the whole world ceases to exist. Forget about it. The minute after Shabbos, okay, immediately cars, telephone. How could I live without my telephone? Because Shabbos in this world exists as total separate entities. It's a pela otzim. Because the Shabbos is a day which is a Gashmius Mitzias, and in it there's a light of Ensof. That's the light of the life of Adam Rishon. It's put in the Shabbos. So, Mimele, when you put on film, you are reconnecting to the eternal life, and you're getting at the film. Each one is a different house. The different parsha is in the Rosh, Tefillin Rosh. It's a different parsha. It has to be each one a separate house, and has to be, the tzedek has to go all the way down to the Torah with all the halachas of the film. Why these are all tzimtzumim. So the light, the motion, the ponim that we are talking about here can be contained, so we can continue living without stopping existing. So it's like that's a little answer, to that question. Film Abinatan, film Rashi.
It's good, but it's still not enough. Rashi,
that's what he said. He says, we have to receive on an unlimited level. Right now, for life in this world, is in Rashi. And this is what we need in this world. The halacha is Rashi. It's like Rashi. La'osid lavoi, it's like right now, the halacha is like Besilan. In this world, we need the halacha to be Besilan. But la'osid lavoi, we need the halacha to be Shammai, because it'll be bigger mochin. So Nosson says about Chanukah, it says that the Chanukah is the 8th day. There are no 8 days in a week. There are only 7. So what is the 8th day? So the 8th day is the Bina. When you go from underneath, the last is Malchus, all the way you go up, that's the Bina. The Bina is the 8th day. It's beyond time and place. So Nosson explains that the first day of Chanukah was actually the 8th day. That's the Bina. The entire miracle happened on the first day. And then the fact that it continued to light, and continued to burn, was only a revelation of the miracle of the first day. You thought that the miracle is, that the first thing you saw that you didn't see a miracle at all. It's because the Bina is beyond time and place. You don't see a miracle there. It looks like it's totally natural. You have oil that can burn for a day. What's a pella in this? So it says, but actually, the real miracle is the first day. The second day is just a revelation. But when we're looking at, in the third day is a further revelation. The fourth day is a bigger revelation. So, wow, in the fifth day, wow, unbelievable. The fifth day is already, it's burning. And then 6th day, wow, unbelievable. 7th and the 8th day, wow. Talk about it in reality, because we look at it from our perspective in this world, which is constricted. We can only see what we see. We see the way there was enough oil for one day. Second day, wow, that's amazing. Third day, wow, and so forth and so on.
So,
but in reality, let's just finish this nekuda. But in reality, the miracle was on the first day. The second and third was simply, that revelation of the miracle of the first day. So Mimela, the 8th day, the last day, was the lowest of all the revelations, because the main revelation was the first day. So Bes Hillel, that paskin aloha like this world, like Shulun Rashi, like Kaviyachol. So they said, listen, we paskin aloha the way that we see it. We see you put oil for one day, we don't see no miracle. It continues to burn for 2 days, we're saying, wow. 3 days, we're saying, wow, that must be a fella, and so forth and so on. And it keeps on going on and on and on. And Shabbos, and but Beishamai said we are going according to what the situation really is. The first day is the miracle. The entire 8 days are there, so we like 8 days. The seventh day is already less, so we like 7, and the third day we like 6, and so forth and so on. So Beth Hillel is Moisef Ha'ilech, and Beth Shammai says Pachas Ha'ilech. And that's what he said. That, why? Because the halacha b'shama goes according to the emes, the eternal emes. Rashi, the Silal and Rashi is according to the emes of this world. The halacha is goes by this world. In the future, it's going to be like b'shama, is going to be like Rabbeinu Tam, and so forth and so on.
That all makes sense. But what did they do 1,000 years ago? They're not times. What the form did they wear?
I don't know. Maybe they were both. I don't know.
Don't make sense the way too.
Well, the Gemara says that it's placed in the head for 2 pairs of film.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh, so you think they wore 2 pairs?
I don't know. But what I'm telling you that the minute that when the Gemara as it goes down, this side of all the I see that Torah shetishtachach Yisrael the Chova Misamigdash, so we only find out what it was before, but we cannot know as the generations go down. We keep on knowing less and less, and there's the klalim, there's the rules of how you pass in halacha. So the generations pass in halacha this way and that way. But this is all we know. It's the same thing with the time of before the Chol Mikdash, when all the tribes, all the Shvatim were in Eretz Yisrael. There were 12 nischos of tefillah. There were 12 sidurim. Each Shevet had his own. I mean, they're all basically the same thing, but just a little different according to the neshama, to the overall neshama of this particular Shevet. Dan had a certain siddur. Naphtali had a certain nusach. Each one had a certain nusach. And yeah, obviously, I'm not telling you that. So Rav Gamliel was Misakin, being he knew that all this will get lost, so he was Misakin the 13 nusach that connects all of them together, because we know everything else is going to get lost. So this is so it's a good question you're asking, like what kind of film, what film they.
So maybe it's right to wear 2 at the same time.
Well, the Kabbalah, this is what they do. They have this small, yeah, like this. Russian Rabbeinu Tam.
But then if you do that, you're going to stand out. It's also who wants to be looking.
No, first of all, that's why they cover the Rabbeinu Tam. They cover the yarmulke covers it. This is what they do. So it's like so it doesn't look like Moisef, but nevertheless, it's a Harizal said it's a very, very great thing. That's what by Sfaradim is very common. It's very common, but they put that they put both pairs of film, because the Gemara says there is place in the head for 2 pairs of film. Why the Gemara should say that? Because the Gemara is asking, where do you put on film? So the Gemara says there's a place for 2 pairs of film in the head. Okay, so it's a.
You don't want to do that?
What? I do, the way that we do, the Ashkenazim, first I put Rashi, then I put Rabbeinu Tam afterwards. No, that's what people do. But the Sfaradim, they put both of them together. They have a Masari like this, and we have a Masari like that. They're both good. They're both good. They're both good. Yeah. So just in order to encapsulate this entire Torah before we go into, well, we're not going to go into this today, but for manifestation is after we say that there are people that sleep their days, and they fell pinasheno because they ate foodstuffs that wasn't, purified enough, for human consumption. So we said it's not just, trumas amaris. It's not just eating something that wasn't fully ripe. It's also, when the shochet actually shachted the behemoth with the proper kavanas, and when you eat, to serve Kadosh Baruch Hu. Each step is an union of birurim, the machal odom, and because of that, the avoid of these people who are asleep is without seichel, not real seichel. They're not connected. They don't have this horn of odom arishon. They're not connected to Kadosh Baruch Hu. They're not cognizant that they are actually learning Torah and they are davening to get in touch with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because they're lacking a seichel amiti. I mean, to go like an automaton is very easy, but to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's an avodah. It's a seichel. Each one has his own connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu. So this is your own face, your own ponim. It's chochmas adam tol ponim. And when a avodah is without seichel, it's not only that it's without seichel. There's even no intention to have the seichel. They come to daven, whatever it is. The first machshava zorah to have is, when do I finish davening? It's like it's like a.
Can't you wait to get out of here?
Yeah. Let's just finish it up. It's like a. So this is b'chinas sheino. But what happens? I'm in this madrega. I don't want to be this madrega, but I'm in this madrega. That means that I want to wake up. I want to wake up. So when a person needs to want to wake up on his own, but he can only wake up a little bit. I want to wake up. I want to daven properly. I want to learn properly. So when you wake him up, you have to be malbish. You have to cloak. You have to cover up that person's true face in Sipurim Isis. Because if you tell a person he's moichin, his own face, straight to his face, go 1 year, go out there. China. Just very, very good. But have a meeting. Right? So the tzaddik is malbish a much higher level of seichel, and it cloaks it in Sipurim Isis. And this goes, when a person just listens to the Maisa, it goes in intravenously. And it wakes up the person from within. A person doesn't know. You don't need to know what does the Maisa mean. You don't have to perushim. Okay, I heard the Maisa. What does the Maisa mean? You don't need any of that. It works like taking a pill. You swallow it. You listen to the Sipurim Isis, the tzaddikim. It goes into you. If you want to wake up, it goes into you and it wakes you up further and further and further. And he said that he has to wake up the people up from Sipurim Isis of the Shivim Shonim, this 70 years. So the 70 years is also the 70 facets of the Torah, the Shivim Ponim. And we says, why do you have to cover it up? It says, first of all, the light will not drive him crazy. And we used to say, people, you learn Kabbalah, you go crazy. Kind of remember that? Yeah. Used to say that. Okay, so it's too much light. It's too much light. The seichel cannot contain it. So that's one reason. Secondly, is that when a person is asleep, the chitzonim, are feeding off him. It's like you ever seen
those fish type things.
Those fish, yeah, they cling. You can't get rid of them. They cling. They cling at the end. The fish, they try to stay away from them, but they don't let go. They keep on going after them until they say, "I'll cut the heck with it. Just go ahead and stick yourself and feed off." This is what the klipas are. When a person's asleep, the klipas are suckling from them their chayas. No, suddenly you want to wake up. You want to go. Hey, where are you going? So they won't let you go. That's just it. And so there's also somebody that fell from all the shivim ponim of the Torah, all of them, completely off. It's not shach b'chal Torah b'chlal. So He cannot be awakened unless he's told stories which is beyond time and place. It's already from the Kesser. It's not from what we call the Ze'er Anpin, because you know that on Yom Kippur we say the 13 midas of Rachamim, right? Shem Hashem, Kel Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Hapam Achet V'Emen, Tzachis Artim, so forth. So this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu taught Moshe Rabbeinu in Har Sinai after the Chet HaEgel. And Chet HaMeraglim, Moshe Rabbeinu mentions these, he only mentions 9. He does not mention 13. Because the Amtokas Adinim, the Das of the Keser, that Moshe Rabbeinu got, after Chet HaEgel, comes from the Keser, from Atik, and there are certain meters. This is complete amnesty, no dinim whatsoever. But when those 13 go into from the Keser, when it goes into Ze'er Anpin, the small face, which is our level in this world, then it's only 9 come down. So with the Chet HaMeraglim, this is and Achinam, Kodesh Baruch Hu did not finish off Son of Israel, but Beis Hamikdash had to be destroyed and so forth and so on. It's like so now this need of a person that fell off from all the facets of it, does nothing, zilch. So he has to hear Sipurei Maisis, Mishanim Kadmonius from yesteryears, beyond time. This is Atik, that all the Atik, all the 70 faces get from them. It's like we say with the mashal with Chanukah, that the first day is the real miracle, and all the rest of the days get from that. So the same thing is happening, all the 70 facets of the Torah, which we have, we don't have it in this world, we used to, before Chovan Abayis. So there were 70 facets, there's 70 explanations to every single word, every single pasuk, in Nigla and in Nister, and they're all true. Today, what do we have? We have maybe 2, 3, maximum 5 panim of the Torah. The Rishonim, the Rosh, the Reef, whatever. Each one, had his own sheet of learning. That's one panim of Torah. But there were 70. Well, those that fell from all the panim, they need to be told stories that all the 70 facets come from, which is in the Atik. It's not the level of the 70 panim. And when they are awakened, Ravina explains, when they wake up from their sleep, it's like there's a Jewish neshama there. The fact that he's asleep, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a need, doesn't feel the need deep inside himself, doesn't feel the need to speak to Kodesh Baruch Hu, to get close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. There's nothing else to do in this world. So when they finally wake up, they're going to grab their hand, give out. What was the thinking? What's going on with me? So this is the Dibur. Now they start talking. Now they start really talking. They're talking, with great force. And that force influences the entire world. There is, that force is being, there's a step-down mechanism. It goes into those, what we call the Batchanei Ador, the trusters, those who have real bitochen in the generation. And we already explained that this is in spirituality, this is with the kidneys. There's the spiritual kidneys. It's Batchanei Ador. And we said the kidneys is the beginning for creation. Later on, it goes down. But in the very, very beginning, so you see, even Begashmi is people that, La'aleinu, La'aleichem, they have kidney problems. Nobody should have that. They are infertile. They cannot have children. And nobody knows why. Medicine doesn't know why. But the reason is because spiritually, the zera is being cooked, as it were, being prepared, as it were, or in the level of the kidneys, of bitochen. Beruchnis, everything with Gashmis is because Beruchnis is like that. So the Gashmis is also like that. And from that, once it's already finished, and the tipa is already finished, it's ready. Now it comes to Klei Lodo, and that already brings about Pekidus HaKoros. Means barren women that could not give birth until now are able to give birth. Now, when barren women give birth, there is an explosion of year. Sarah Imeinu, she was a Korah, she was barren, and she became expecting Rosh Hashanah, right? She got expecting, and she gave birth to Rosh Hashanah. Pachad Yitzchak. Yitzchak was born. Well, Yitzchak is Yira. The epitome of Yira is Yitzchak Avinu, right? Pachad Yitzchak. So then there is an incredible permeation of Yira in the world. And anybody who wants Yira, that time when there's this Galus Yira, a person can get Yira a lot more easily. What you got to do, you got to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you want to be a Shemayim. And when that happens, there's P'kir Sakaras, this happens. So there's a permeation, there's of Yira, and then it's Zman Mesugal to get Yira. And once you get Yira, then the process is Yozachat Yomim. We say Yomim, it's P'china Zoken. The person adds more and more Kedusha every single day. This is what we call the crypto wallet. Those are Yomim, that you add more Kedusha every day, and into this you can get this kind of assurance, this kind of wealth that brings you to a point that you get a supernatural insight into Torah. Because the money, if it wasn't for greed, the money is where the nefashos come out. It's a tremendously high thing. But because it's so high, when it comes out of this world, it becomes greed. It becomes. But if a person wants the assurance only the Shem Shemayim, only to get it, so means that the Hashiras is a congregation of neshamas. That you have the rich people. Why do people like rich people? You didn't get anything. No, I'm saying that, but even if you don't get anything from him, people like Ashirabim. The lovers of the rich are plentiful. People have attraction to rich people. Why?
Rich man has many friends.
Right. Why is that? No. Yeah, but why is that? What does it mean? Mm-hmm. We know because they're rich. You say they're rich. Okay. Not everybody gets money from them. Yeah, people get money from them, Baruch Hashem, but not everybody that likes and gets money from them. They're friends, right? They have many, many, many friends. They make a chasana, all the who's and who's come, right? They're not all of them getting money from the rich people, because the rich people, because of the money that he has, he's holding in Shosha Nefashis, is the root of the Nefashis of Israel. And also all of the Goyim, it's under their hand. But they don't know it. They think it's their money. I'm not giving it to anybody else, it's my money. This is only by you as a deposit, so that you will know that you'll have to get to to get this incredible insight into Torah. So, but that is the Torah that you learn. This is every single letter of the Torah, every single facet of the Torah is P'chinas Nefesh. So you need immense wealth to get, everybody's chelik in the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu was immensely rich, Rabbi Ashi, and so forth and so on. We are continuing and going on and on and on. We need to stop here with Hashem. Next week we will start Siman Tes, where we see this the same principle that we just the cycle that we explain, how it is go in Shofar, how this is manifested in Shofar, and then when we finish with that, we're going to see the story of Chon Yameagel. We have this entire Torah is embedded in a certain Maise of the Gemara, and B'ezrat Hashem, afterwards we're going to explain how the whole thing is embedded in the first thing we learned about this Torah, which is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai sitting with his son Rabbi Elazar and his son Rabbi Abba, and that thing of the Idra Rabbah that we said in the very, very beginning of the Torah. So this is something that we will, as I finish in the next few weeks. Hashem. We'll have an amazing Shabbos. Everybody needs great Yeshuas. Now is the right time. Now is Chodesh Adar. Shema nichnas Adar ma b'simcha. Lev lochem v'sorim b'yad Hashem. The heart of leaders is in the hands of Kadosh Baruch Hu. So let Hashem, Halavai, will be zocher to see the miracle with the crumbling of the minister of Ishmael, and his malchus will be annihilated. Bezat Hashem, we'll zocher to see the coming of Mashiach Bezat Hashem very soon. And he'll take care of us. He'll take care of Tel Aviv. And the big towers where the dentists are, and the lawyers are, whatever it is, and the Mashiach will take care of everybody. So Shabbos, Hatzlacha. Yeah.